Music is fading in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Distorted Entertainment Podcast. My name is Ethan Carpenter. Thank you for joining us. I am joined, of course, by Mitchell Wade.
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't ask you anything this time. I changed it up.
Yeah.
I passed the ball into your court. How goes it, Mitch?
It's going, I guess. Things exist. Stuff happens.
Dude, I feel that. That's pretty much just been my last week in general.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday, I twisted the leg that I had surgery on real bad.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I was taking out the trash at work, even though I'm not technically supposed to. But I guess my boss thought that, hey, since both people are going that have work restrictions, perhaps they can help each other and cancel them out. Which it was fine. I had no issues with it until I decided to take the outside route back to where we are, because I work at IUPUI, so it's like all the campuses and buildings are connected one way or another. And I decided to go down the ramp, and as soon as the walkway turned from concrete to steel, I immediately slipped. I twisted my leg almost like 180 degrees around and scraped open the incision and all this other stuff. Nothing too bad. No x-rays, or the x-rays showed there was nothing too wrong. I just kind of really made it mad. So it's been super sore since last Tuesday, and it's a fun time. I
swear to God.
Look, I am slowly just becoming more and more accepting that I am accident prone, and I'm desperately trying to find a desk job, but they don't really exist right now. So I'm working on it.
I would offer you my job, but you still have to go outside and move around.
Moving is fine. I don't like hills, and I don't like pushing things anymore. I really need to lose weight, dude. I'm back up above what I was before I started at FedEx. When I think like I was 350 when I started at FedEx. I'm like up to 360 now, and I absolutely hate it. I gained some weight back when I wasn't able to work, but that's not super shocking in all honesty. Once my checks even out, I've made plans with people to start going to the gym, but I don't know what exactly I'm going to be doing because I can't exactly do cardio. So we'll see how it goes. How have you been otherwise? Anything miraculous happened to you before we start digging into things?
I fostered a cat for 2 days in order to adopt it, and then that didn't work out.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And it's fine. I'm less, sorry about me and more just that poor cat.
Yeah, it seemed very, very skittish.
Skittish is not even close to the right word. Like, this is literally the cat acted like I was actively going to murder it. Like, it wasn't skittish. It, hid and ran, and anytime it couldn't run, it just kept pressing itself in a corner trying to get away. I felt so bad. I've never seen a cat that scared.
Did it come from like a bad home?
They don't know anything past its shelter life. So apparently it had always been like that since it got in the shelter. So whatever, and they found it as a stray apparently.
Oh. So
whatever happened to it happened outside the shelter, supposedly. The foster mom was super nice. Like, he's the only one that he'll go up to and everything. And even that, he's still like kind of scared. But like as soon as I handed him back into her, he started purring and everything. So I was just like, all right. Other than that, working. Not liking my job as usual. Talked to some old philosophy friends that I haven't heard from in a while. That was nice.
Did you discover anything about the world?
No, we were mostly just catching up and not doing philosophy.
All right, fair enough.
And
What do you do when you actively do philosophy?
Discussion.
Oh, so would you consider Distort Entertainment a philosophical podcast?
No.
Aw. What was the last thing? I'm sorry. Dumb jokes.
Unless you want to start getting into the real nitty gritty of like the meaning behind music and what makes music and
guitar strings go burr.
So this isn't a philosophical podcast. Anyways, so that was nice, and I'm still not doing the things I need to do because I don't know, bad habits at this point, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that too. So,
and finally,
no guilt from me.
Woo! Finally, I need to start studying for the GRE.
Nice, Mitchell.
Yes,
I found $1 in my pocket.
Ooh, what you going to buy?
Most likely nothing, but I did find $1 in my pocket. I also forgot that I won $2 off a lottery ticket that I keep forgetting to turn in, so that's cool.
So $3, man.
Heck yeah, dude! I can get like a really tiny breakfast.
A really tiny breakfast.
Quite tiny. So let's go ahead and hop into things. Just note, if I sound super tired, it's because I am. It's very late, but I'm gonna push through and continue doing our podcast related things. I think Mitch and I actually have a good number of things. What's up?
If I sound super tired, it is also because I am.
But you just woke up versus me. This is like 2 days in a row where I've stayed up past 9 and it's destroying me. When did I get so old?
I also stayed up past 9, but it was 9 a.m.
Oh, okay. Is that? I guess that is technically the same thing for you, just on the opposite.
Yeah, I'm literally 12 hours from, I guess, a normal adult.
Yeah. Man, remember, like, I don't know how often you pulled like all-nighters or really late nights when you were younger, but like, dude, my 16-year-old self would think I'm a loser right now. You're going to bed before
in college.
8? I'm tired.
In college,
dude.
I pulled 24 hours all the time. Even out of college, I did.
I don't think I could manage it anymore.
Oh,
dude.
I mean, it was an awful experience. Have I never told you the time I stayed up for 52 hours straight?
Mitchell, like that hurts me to just hear that it happened. I don't know if I want the details.
Oh, well, you know what? Story time, everybody.
Oh, no.
So, right. Senior year, college, Mitch, really bad depression, got super behind. And what's even worse about getting super behind was not only was I super behind, but I had projects that were my like independent studies. So it was my own research and everything. And it was in machine ethics. So, you know, that's rad as fuck. And I was like, wow, I'm really behind in this. I should do it. So my brain was like, hey, you know what? You should do as much of it as you can until you get caught up. See how that goes. And I'm not even shitting you. I did not drink any caffeine. I was purely up due to stress and willpower.
Yikes.
Really dumb willpower.
I don't have enough willpower.
And yeah, I made it through the first 24 hours and I was fine. And then I made it through the second 24 hours and things started happening that weren't good. And by not good, I mean I was hallucinating.
Yeah, that happens.
And it was like I didn't have any visual hallucinations, but I had auditorial ones. Like occasionally I would hear distant screaming and like scraping across my wall. And then you know that really tingly feeling you get, the pins and needles when you're like you sleep on your arm or something?
Yeah, when someone falls asleep, yeah.
That was my entire body, including behind my eyes.
Let me ponder you this, Mitchell. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Aw.
Then I would occasionally feel something go up and down my arms, like hands, and no,
Like
that
a
wasn't
spirit.
No. So around 56, 57, 58. Oh, by the way, I was still going to classes and work when I was doing
Screw
this.
that. No. I would not be able to. No.
And I probably micro-slept a bunch, and by micro-slept, I do mean like 1 to 2 minutes at a time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know what microsleep is. I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I know what microsleeping is.
Oh, I'm sorry. And around like 57, 58, I was just like, nah, you know what? Fuck this. And I slept for 16 hours straight, got up, got a glass of water, ate some food, and then went immediately back to sleep. And my sleep has never been the same. I fall asleep extremely hard and extremely fast. And like, I was already a heavy sleeper, but to put it in perspective, I was working on the ramp one day. I fell asleep in the tug waiting for a plane to land.
Right.
And the jet engine was maybe 100 feet away from my head. And granted, I had earplugs in, but it still didn't wake me.
Jeez.
And it's a jet engine.
It is a jet engine. That is one of the loudest things that you can perceive, like on a normal day-to-day basis.
Yeah, especially our normal day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Or mine.
Not mine anymore. Used to,
not
but
yours
not mine anymore.
And yeah, I'll randomly fall asleep out in places. It's great. I love it. I really fucked myself. I've gotten better. If I realize that I'm having issues, I like force myself to do something, and that usually will keep me awake.
Right.
Like record a metal podcast or read a book.
Yeah, but now when we record, it's always like your morning and like my bedtime. Typically we record on Sundays, so it's not that big of a deal. But even then, now I'm going back to work, so I guess it doesn't even like help anymore. I've had the last couple of Mondays off for various reasons.
I might be changing my schedule, which is nice.
Well, that's cool. Are you going back to mornings or staying at nights?
Staying at nights, but earlier. So,
like second shift instead of third.
Yeah, I would be going 6 p.m. Would be my start time, and then I would be done with work at 3 a.m.
That's not bad.
No, I would much prefer that over.
Like I could probably handle that.
I don't mind working nights at all, but like I would like to have a semi-normal schedule, and I also think that would just work better for school and not having to constantly change my sleep schedule. So
it's weird because like I've noticed that even though it's technically all the same like time frames, like working. If you base your whole shift around like I go to work at this time, so I should go to bed at this time, yada yada yada. If you take that and mold it to like morning shift, second shift, or late shift, it's all roughly the same amount of sleeping and everything. But I feel like I'm way better at working like afternoon/night cycles than I am just waking up super early in the morning. Maybe it's just because mornings suck. But I've always felt I
can do any easier. Of it personally.
It's weird. I have a really rough time waking up early, like at like 5 a.m. or something like that. I changed my work schedule a little bit so that way I'm going in from 9 to 5 instead of 7 to 3. And it's been helping a little bit. I actually woke up fairly early today. Today decently, which is surprising because I stayed up last night watching the Royal Rumble. First wrestling show I've watched in a long time. It was interesting, but yeah. So you stayed up for 56 hours.
Yeah, it was great. Or 53. It was above 48. I know that.
I kind of lost count once I hit 48, due to the hallucinations. The Eraserhead baby kept yelling at me. It was weird.
But don't do that, folks. And I know people that have like crackhead injury, probably because they're on crack, and they are like constantly like, oh, 53 hours, that's nothing. I had like one girl that did that at one of my old jobs, and I was like, you look like you just do meth. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I never understand like what's it called? Like suffering Olympics or whatever. Like, you work
flexing, yeah.
Yeah, you're tired after 8 hours. I've been working, 30. I'm like, that's cool. I'm still tired.
Yeah, there's one guy at FedEx that works for Securitas, and he's constantly like, oh yeah, I've worked 90 hours this week, and I'm like, do you hate your life or something? Like,
dude, I hate my life at 40.
Like, what, why are you proud of that? You work at a company that pays you less than pays me. What's wrong with you?
I don't get it. Like, it's cool that you're proud of your work ethic, but like, you shouldn't. I don't think people realize that it's not really a flex to say that you've been working 90-hour weeks.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad. I actually don't like, I don't think it's cool. I feel bad for you, usually. Like,
I mean, I don't feel bad for him because he's doing it by choice.
That's fair, I guess. Like, if you have to do that to like survive, yeah, no, that's horrible.
Oh, I don't know if he's doing it to survive or not. I just know he's doing it.
Fair enough.
He's like over here like, yeah, I'm going to retire soon. I'm like, you're not. If you're having to work that many hours, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, good luck. I hope you can, but I doubt it.
Yeah, hopefully those new hours present themselves, because I would much rather be doing them. I think it would also allow me to avoid working with a coworker that I really don't like a lot more.
That's fair. The I don't know if I ever told any stories about him, but a coworker that I couldn't stand actually quit while I was gone. I was like, yay.
Oh, and then came back.
I don't have to, because like I said, there are multiple facilities at where I work, and I moved from this one that I've worked at for years. Even when I was part-time, left, came back, I was always working at this one area. But when I came back this last time, a couple new people got hired, and dude acted like I was dumb, like I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, dude, I've been here longer than you. Like, just counting the amount of time that I've been here, and not counting that I've been gone. Like, you've been here for a year. I've worked here off and on for 3 or 4. So what are you doing? Leave me alone. And he was super snarky all the time, very inappropriate jokes all the time, which even made it even worse when I switched to my new area, where my manager and the team lead are both women, and we would go over to get supplies because we're supposed to. It's a smaller facility, so we share supplies with the other one that I used to work at. And dude would just make really uncomfortable jokes all the time. I'm like, dude, could you like leave us alone?
Wait, is this FedEx or?
No, not FedEx.
Oh,
this is IU, where I'm at currently. But anyway, no, he was gone. So when I came back, and that's cool. Dude was a douche. Anyway, I think we should get moving on to like actual segments. Cool. How many? I know you said you had some. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I'm just going to be basically like, hey, these bands are doing this.
Yeah, I have a couple singles that dropped and things like that. So, but you actually had the one that I forgot to pull up, so you're good.
Cannibal Corpse announced album, and also dropped a single.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Did you give it a listen?
No, I did not. At the Gates also is finishing up mixing their album, which they haven't officially announced, but that was on Instagram.
Okay.
And then hey, Marilyn Manson, you ain't looking too hot lately.
Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff about him.
He's getting super accused of being gross.
A piece of garbage.
Which, I mean, I already thought he was before this, but, now even more so. And
I don't know how in depth we'll talk about Marilyn Manson, but I don't.
That's all I want to talk about.
Yeah, Ugh.
Apparently, Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda and Tribune's Matt Heapy will be writing a song on Twitch together.
I saw a headline about that. I did not look at any details, though.
And I think that's about it from what I remember. There's just a bunch of like, I forgot. Someone dropped an album, and I didn't know that. So that's bad. Gotta pick that up soon.
Who would that be?
Soen is a progressive metal band.
I thought you said someone. Yeah. I was like,
no, Soen.
My mistake.
Ginger's working on their new album. Pretty sure there's a couple of other bands that I really like. Oh, Septic Flesh is like I'm getting a good feeling about this year. Gojira, where the hell are you at?
Yeah, I'd like a new Gojira record.
That's pretty much it. I don't have any video game news except everyone being rude to CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. Oh, I do have something about CD Projekt Red, but we'll get to that. To rewind a little bit, I did listen to that new Cannibal Corpse single. It's called Inhumane Harvest. Originally, I didn't even realize it was a real single that dropped. I had a buddy share it on Facebook, and I thought it was one of those things like it's not a real it's like an unreleased song that somebody leaked, or it's from another band that they made like a bad cover art for, and like, but I was like, it was probably fake. So I clicked on it because I haven't heard anything about them doing a new album recently. I clicked on it, it was like, oh, this video has been taken down by Metal Blade. I was like, ooh, so it was real. So I did go listen to it. It's Cannibal Corpse. If you know, I think it's the same guy that did the Kill, Torture, and Evisceration Plague trilogy, and I think he also came back for their last record, Red Before Black. Sounds good. It's Cannibal Corpse. There's nothing really super positive or super negative to say. It was a decent song. It sounds like it would fit into any of those 4 records that I just named, production-wise, and it's cool. Cannibal Corpse is like, they've kind of hit that status where they're I would argue that they're a legendary band, at least in the death metal community at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're the equivalent of the big 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Bands, but
and
for
like,
death metal.
Anytime they drop something new, I'll probably check it out. You know, who knows if it's... I've never really considered Cannibal Corpse to have a, quote, bad album. I'm not too fond of their earliest work with Chris Barnes, but I think that's mainly due
Anything
to Chris
Barnes does is a bad album. Anyways.
Early Corpse, there are a handful of early Corpse songs that I do like. Now, I like them more when Corpse Grinder is performing them, but, you know... Shredded Humans, Skullful of Maggots, couple other songs from that record are pretty decent, but I haven't really checked out a lot of Butchered at Birth or The Bleeding, because The Bleeding was the last one with him on it, and his vocals were starting to give out, and then Tomb of the Mutilated's just guitar tone is so gross that it's really hard for me to listen to. So I just haven't. But yeah, that's cool. Cannibal Corpse dropping a new single. I'm always excited to hear new stuff from them. I came
across a
yeah.
Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's my very first new Cannibal Corpse record when I first got into them was Skeletal Domain. And that was really good. And then I really liked Red Before Black. So I'm excited to check out the new record.
All right.
Now you're good.
So I found another article.
Mm-hmm.
Hans Kirsch, who, if people don't know, is the other half of Demons and Wizards, quit his band. And do you know why he quit the band?
Because of John Schaefer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably could have guessed that.
So, Demons and Wizards, which is like one of the only other power metal bands that I kind of enjoyed, not a thing really, because somebody decided to be
moron.
Yeah,
to put it lightly,
a proud little boy.
Yeah, he's in jail now. I think they finally arrested him.
They arrested him. Yeah. I don't think anything's gone further than that, though. Pretty sure they arrested him.
Yeah, I think I read about that. And then it's funny because I have like my first Loudwire article popped up, and it has like the latest news tab scrolling through, and that article just popped up that he left Demons and Wizards. So, all right, let's get through what I have here, and then we can get into the meat and potatoes of things.
He said the thing.
I said it. It's been a minute since I've said it. New single, Rob Zombie dropped another track, and the only reason I bring this up is because I did enjoy his last single. Not so much this one. This one is a very, very standard Rob Zombie song. The lyrics are very, very stupid and repetitive, and that's just kind of his shtick. It is called The Eternal Struggles of the Howling Man. Take a guess what old monster movie it references constantly. That's right, Godzilla. And we're going it's not that great. If you're wanting to listen to new Rob Zombie, look at King Freaks instead of this one. It's just very, very standard. After that, something for the metal historian side of us, Mitchell. Black Sabbath previously unreleased 1979 Heaven and Hell rehearsal released by Jeff Nichols' estate. So it's just kind of cool. It's some old Dio era Black Sabbath that hasn't been seen or heard before, and now it's out there. Even though I haven't really listened to it yet, it just exists. Also has somebody different on bass. That's interesting. I probably should have looked at this article, but it's all good. Speaking of Heaven and Hell, though, you were aware that Dio did another album with the guys from Sabbath under a project named Heaven and Hell?
Yeah.
So apparently there was an article. I didn't pull it up for this, but because I just saw it today. After Dio's passing, Rob Halford said he wanted to try and get in and continue that project, which I would have actually been kind of interested to hear, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would have loved to hear. I would have liked
against that.
Yeah, Halford working with the Black Sabbath guys, that would have been awesome. So that's that. I am kind of, these are mainly just very headline specific things. We've discussed Pantera quite a bit on the show. We've talked a little bit about Phil Anselmo in general. Have you listened to his other project, Down?
No. Have I? If I have, it was like a track or two.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not a huge Pantera fan, so I'm not going out of my way to get more Pantera.
Fair enough. I believe Down is a very different sounding project. I think it is more of a sludge metal thing, if I remember correctly. I've never really listened to them, but there was an article that said Down is planning to record a covers album. And, I think I've said on the show before that I enjoy it when bands do covers. I think it's actually really, really interesting, and I like to hear what some of them will do with certain material. Unless if your name is Chris Barnes doing the Graveyard Classics thing for 6 Feet Under, in which case it's all terrible. So I just thought that was interesting. I as much as I'm very iffy on Pantera, I know that Anselmo is a good vocalist. Maybe not as much now, but he was a good vocalist. He's kind of shredded his throat. But I was semi-interested in this. I actually wouldn't mind checking out Down at some point. I just don't really have a point of reference for their actual music. So they're going to do a covers album. Here's a funny one, though. Did you see that there is actually a CD that exists called Now That's What I Call Dad Rock?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so that actually exists. It actually has some interesting songs, but it also has ones that I'm kind of confused about. First of all, I don't understand the hype for Mr. Brightside by The Killers. I wish that song would die. People rant and rave constantly about how that's one of the best songs ever, and I disagree heavily. I can't stand The Killers. At all. Just at all.
Just at all?
Just at all. What is your opinion on The Killers?
I gotta remember what this song is.
Coming out of my cage because I've been doing just fine. Gotta get it down because I want it all. Let it out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? It's one of the most overplayed songs ever. I can't stand it. They also have a song called Are We Human or Are We Dancer, and it's also terrible.
This just sounds like stereotypical 2000 emo rock.
Except it hasn't gone away, Mitch. It hasn't gone away, and it makes me upset.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never heard this song before.
You've heard this song before, even if you didn't realize it. It's been I'm pretty sure it's been in the charts since it debuted. I hate it. I hate it so much. And people are still, I'm like, when are you guys going to wake up and realize that The Killer's Mr. Brightside's a bad song and everybody gets mad at me? I'm like, nah, this song is garbage. Maybe it's just because I've heard it so many times. I did work at my high school's radio station and it got played like on the daily, even though it came out in 2004, but who cares? Another questionable one, Take Me to Church by Hosier or Hosier.
Yes.
I don't consider that to be a dad rock song, like, especially because the one after that is Nickelback's Rockstar, which I do consider to be a dad rock song. Followed by
rock.
Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama, which is definitely a dad rock song. But you got like Blue Oyster Cult, Meatloaf, The Clash. Let's see if there's any other like weird ones. I wish Toto's Africa would just die in a hole already. I hate that song. And I would, if I ever hear it again, it'll be too soon. Lumineers Ho Hey, also a questionable one, but then you got like Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water. Yeah. Do you not consider that to be a dad rock?
It is, but just like
you also have a lot of decade spanning in this one. You got like 60s and 70s classic rock, and then you have MGMT Kids. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a list.
There are 59 songs. I'm just trying to see if there's any like other standouts, because obviously most of these are like, yeah, that's dad rock, and then
I can't believe it's dad rock.
I can't believe it's not. I hate Blink-182's All the Small Things so much.
I hate Blink-182.
I mean, yeah, in general, but also just that song. The Final Countdown, classic. I don't know about MGMT Kids. I think I actually know that song off the top of my head, and I don't necessarily consider that dad rock. Sum 41, yeah, I could see that. Avril Lavigne, even more.
Some very interesting.
Bastille, Pompeii. I hate that song.
Yeah, some very interesting choices for sure.
And that's pretty much like anything that I would say shouldn't belong, just off the top. Of course, you got Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild. Anyway, yeah, that exists. I've actually considered listening to it just to feel something.
Say you hate yourself,
even if it's even if it's hatred. This one, I believe, when you mentioned machine ethics earlier, I have two things that may or may not like spark conversation about that. This was released a few days ago. Just keep in mind we are recording on the 1st of February, in case of stuff becomes old news or whatever. Spotify has a new patent to listen to your daily speech to recommend music.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's doesn't really fall. Does that fall in the machine ethics?
I mean, it's like AI.
No, it doesn't.
Not AI.
Machine ethics is more how to program artificial intelligence in order to be ethical. So like the Google car and who the Google car should hit.
Okay, I guess I mainly meant
hey, look, this has to do with iRobot. There we go.
Did you see but in this article it also mentions, did you see the website where an AI robot like looks at your Spotify history and roasts you for it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I suggested that to you. If not you, my friend Kelly. Oh my God, I totally forgot a piece of news. Keep going.
It makes me wish that you used Spotify, because I would have loved to see what it would have roasted you on. It's very funny, and it's actually a little bit different every time you do it. But continue. I don't know. Look, we already know that Google already kind of listens to you anyway.
I mean, yeah, I actively talk to my phone.
Yeah.
To like turn on my lights and shit.
So I don't necessarily think this is that much of a crazy step. Some people are like really mad about it, but I'm like, you probably use Alexa and Siri, right? You're already basically doing this, but this one might show you new music. I don't know. Right.
But at the same time, it's like with how Alexa and Siri work, granted, it's always listening. It's not, as far as I understand, and who knows, I haven't looked at the full thing, and I'm sure some conspiracy person might tell me one thing and then it's not true.
Right.
Or maybe it is, who knows. But as far as I know, it's not recording, it's looking for that specific activation,
Sound wave.
which I'm not going to say because I'm not a jerk.
Yeah, it's fair. I didn't even think about that, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily against the idea. It is a little weird, I'll give you that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe that'll be like an experiment thing I can do for the show at some point. Let's see what Spotify recommended me today. It's just the Captain Crunch theme song. Anyway, here's another
Meow
one though.
Mix for 24 hours.
Spotify's like, look, I don't know what to do. You should see a doctor, to be honest. Okay, I think this one actually qualifies maybe for the ethical, even if it's not like the car problem. Microsoft patent aims to revive dead people as an AI chatbot.
Yeah, no, that one definitely falls under machine ethics.
Yeah, have you seen this one?
No, and that is literally a Black Mirror episode.
It literally is, and it says that in the article. Legitimately, it is, that is what they're trying to do. They are trying to Microsoft wants to possibly recreate historical figures and or like just normal people based on messages, speech patterns. This is more for modern people, not for older ones, but I don't like it. I don't like the idea of that.
Here's the thing. I like it in certain ways, maybe not for historical figures, but just like in the Black Mirror episode where it was meant to be a coping mechanism to be able to say goodbye. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, see, I feel the exact opposite. I think it's okay for historical figures, and I feel like it is really iffy for when it comes to like grief and the grief cycle, because when it comes to that, I feel like it's really going to mess up the idea of, dealing with loss and grieving over it and eventually coming to terms with it. If something like this happened, like, you wouldn't ever have to get through those steps, you know what I mean? I think it also touches a little bit on Uncanny Valley. Not in the traditional sense. Yeah. I just don't know.
It does it does. But here's the thing. In the end, it's a choice. You're not being forced to do it.
True.
You could go through the steps of grief. This would be more like maybe somebody can't get past the step. Because there are people that never get over it. And it sometimes even leads to them killing themselves or something. Maybe this is a way to avoid that. But in the end, it's just like in the Black Mirror episode, it's a choice. Now, if they start doing the weird grow the person in your bathtub like in the Black Mirror episode, that might be going a bit farther than I'm comfortable with.
They say that has begun to plot, quote, multidimensional 2D and 3D models of those who are no longer among the living.
See, I wouldn't want visual. I would want it to just be typing chat, maybe audio.
I wouldn't necessarily mind like an animated model on like of their head or something like that on the computer, maybe. But there are some people there are some articles I think that mention like creating a bot. Like, no, I don't want anything physical. Nothing beyond a computer screen, please. That's too creepy. I don't want it. Because that's terrifying. And then, they brought this up briefly on a mini-sode for Chilluminati, and Mathis brought up an interesting thing. It's like, even when we talk about historical figures, I think there are people that we should not be allowed to touch, like Hitler or Stalin or people, crazy people, things like that, because people, like, still worship him for some reason. So
right. Just like any technology, there are pros and cons to it, and the cons are almost always people abusing the technology, not literally the technology itself.
Right.
And granted, they're like, what's a good example? The car. It's good for transporting people.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good for transporting people that don't want to be transported. It's not the best example, but
right.
By the way, I was speaking on human trafficking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't talking about like the kid who doesn't want to go to the grocery store with his mom. In this case, it's like it would be good because you could analyze their speech pattern and maybe get some ideas behind the actual thought process on what the hell was going on.
Yeah, that's possible.
But at the same time, you could also get somebody who is now worshiping an AI and you get a techno cult.
Yeah, that's also a problem. I just feel like it's a very touchy idea.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
It's like
could
self-driving cars.
Skynet.
Yeah. Self-driving cars, awesome. Great. When we get the technology, they're going to be the safest things on the planet, as long as you have the safety features of like, oh no, there's something that happened that shouldn't have happened. Pull over now.
Right.
And a bunch of, which a lot of cars have that now, where they're not self-driving, but if they notice that you're like unconscious or falling asleep, they will safely pull you to the side of the road.
See, that's super cool.
But then you have the risk of, just like any smart device, whether it be in your home or something like that, hacker getting a hold of it. And that's just, there's always a risk to new technologies and people abusing it. And it just comes with the territory, and it's always been that way. It's just more prevalent now because we're moving faster and faster. So the abuse has to happen faster and faster as well. And so people freak out. Like,
right.
Yes, people's smart homes have been hacked. It is extremely rare. And most of the time, those people aren't really using their security features properly. Like, they don't have a Wi-Fi password or their Wi-Fi hidden.
You're supposed to have a password for your Wi-Fi?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hackers started making fun of my dead grandma AI. What do I do?
So, I don't know. I always worry about this stuff because human beings seem so afraid of progress of any kind. It's baffling because they don't like change, even though they're constantly changing. You're never the same person you were 2 minutes ago. You're a constant flow of molecules and atoms. Like,
that sounds fake.
Well, get over it.
All right.
So, anyways, we're not Philosophy Tube. That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast. Definitely not one that either of us are in. I had 2 lists, but I'm not doing those today. Apparently a new trailer for the Godzilla anime just dropped. I'm not going to watch it right now, but if you would like to see my opinion on it, go check the Distorted Entertainment Facebook page at facebook.com/distentpod, DISTENTPOD. Get that chill out of the way and now instead of in the end. Skate 4 is in development. I'm excited. I like Skate.
I'm pretty sure that's old news.
It is. It's been announced, but there was just a new article about it 5 days ago. Skate 4 development is underway, and it's building on everything our community found special. So it sounds like they're just trying to. They're really looking to appease their fan base, which I'm excited for.
Fair.
I really like Skate. I heard Skate 3 was absolutely buggy as all get out, but hilariously so. So I'm excited for a new Skate game, especially on next gen consoles. I still really want to play the Tony Hawk re-release. I heard it was really good.
It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 were fucking phenomenal.
It is true. It is true. I have the first HD remake they did that has James Hetfield in it for some reason.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Could be a new Coder game.
Oh yeah, I did
coming
see
out.
that.
Yeah, and it's being and it could be being made by the people who did the mobile ports of Coder 1 and 2. If you don't know, I'm talking about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm excited. I actually just finished Coder 1 for the very first time, and it was a very, very good game. And I'm going to play 2 at some point. But if there's another one, it was also rumored that they're going to do a HD remaster or remake. Also would be interested. But new Coder, that could be pretty cool. So here's one. Are you a fan of the Life is Strange games? I can't remember if you are or not.
I watched some of my old roommates play it. Just like a little bit. I enjoyed what I saw. I know they're really popular and good.
Yeah, they're good. I at least recommend Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm. I haven't played 2 yet. I really would like to. But there was a new article that came out that says Don't Nod is pretty much done working on the series because I guess Square Enix still owns the rights to Life is Strange, which means Don't Nod is pretty much just doing their own thing right now. And it's saying that Deck 9, which is the studio behind Before the Storm, will handle any new Life is Strange games going forward, which I'm honestly kind of fine with. I thought Deck 9 did a pretty good job with Before the Storm. I actually prefer it a little bit more to the very first Life is Strange, but I haven't played Life is Strange 2, so I don't have any opinions about the official sequel that Don't Nod still created. I just thought that was interesting. It sounds like we will get more Life is Strange games, which I am quite excited for. The first 2 games were very, very good, and I've heard the official sequel, which is the 3rd game, is good as well. Just thought that was interesting. Didn't know if you've ever played them. I know a lot of people who have, and then obviously some people just don't. You see that CD Projekt Red had to cancel a certain mod that involved turning Keanu Reeves' likeness into a sex bot?
Yeah, I did, and that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's very weird. I don't like it.
Let the people fuck Keanu.
I mean, I understand their reasoning. It's kind of like it's like basically sexual content without the original person's consent, because it's literally just modding them into the ability to doing those, which I think is getting very close to like deep fake porn, which is very disturbing.
No, I mean that already exists.
Yeah, I don't like that. Not very good. But that was a mod. It was very funny when I first read about it. And then I was like, yeah, that makes sense why they axed that. Man, CD Projekt Red released an unfinished buggy mess of a game, and it's not even letting us bang Keanu Reeves. Worst developers ever.
I mean, now that you put it that way,
I'm trying to have a little solace in this game I spent $60 for. But they did put out like the very first like huge patch, which apparently fixed a lot of stuff, and then also introduced another completely game-breaking bug, which they then had to fix within a week. So it's going good with your CD Projekt Red. I really hope you guys aren't killing yourselves over there, in any sense of the phrase, in terms of work or blowing your brains out due to the negative press and death threats. Be nice to CD Projekt Red. I think they're trying, guys. Don't be.
Well, it's like every news article is like bashing them now. It's like one of them was like, the music doesn't fit the game and really and I'm like, dude, it's an open world game. It's ambient music. That's what's supposed to be in an open world game.
Ooga booga, game bad. I mean, I guess I just don't have any room for an opinion because I haven't played any Cyberpunk since the first time I streamed it. Not that I haven't wanted to, I've just been busy. So, I don't know. This is kind of like a headline only thing. Deadpool 3 was originally meant to be a road trip movie with Wolverine, says Ryan Reynolds. I'd still pay to watch that. I'm just throwing that out there. You got Hugh Jackman back to play Wolverine and they did that. I'd pay a lot of money to see that, to be honest. Disney, kind of hop on that if you'd like. Did you ever watch Cloverfield?
The first one, yes, not any of the sequels.
Personally, I do recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's pretty good.
I heard that one was really good. I heard the one that took place on a space station wasn't as good.
Yeah, I heard Paradox was garbage. Cloverfield Paradox. But They just announced an official, finally, direct sequel to Cloverfield.
Oh.
I don't know, how it's going to be. There's not really any details about it, but it has been announced. And knowing this series, it's going to be like a direct sequel, but also just have nothing to do with it because that's just kind of how this series has been. So I'd be excited to see if it is a legit sequel. I'd like for it not to be found footage, though. I liked the first Cloverfield movie, but I can't do found footage movies anymore, man. And lastly, I thought it was very fitting because we talked about Godzilla vs. Kong on the last episode briefly. And I had to edit out the part where I said, I still don't like how we don't have a trailer yet. Because the day before the episode went up, they released a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. And it's awesome. And my hype has been renewed for the movie. And I am very excited. It's actually in the top 5 most viewed movie trailers ever now, I believe. And it's all Marvel stuff that's ahead of it. So, have you seen the Kong vs. Godzilla trailer?
Nope, I have no interest in kaijus. Except for the one kaiju that needs to produce music.
What?
Gojira.
Oh. I would barely call this movie a kaiju movie, though, even though it literally is. Like, I feel like it's a different vibe than, like, a traditional Godzilla movie. I don't know. The trailer's really, really cool. I'm excited, and I love all the memes. So, I'll definitely be seeing that when it comes out.
enjoy the I'm literally a walking nuclear reactor. What can you do?
It's like
Make some monkey noises.
Yeah. My favorite one was today where it shows like a gorilla in a zoo. It's like the talking gorilla meme or whatever. It's like, look, guys, I'm all down for a showdown, but you have to realize that this is a nuclear dinosaur. Also, it's really cool. So I guess I'll just gush about this, even though you don't care. They showed Mechagodzilla 4 seconds into the trailer. And nobody thought that they... Yeah, and it's like nobody... Like, if you would have asked anybody who even who liked Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters, nobody ever thought they would put Mechagodzilla in the MonsterVerse. They were like, nobody's gonna buy it. They're gonna think it's too silly. I'm like, dude, this movie... It doesn't matter at this point. Just do it for the fan base, and I think no one's gonna care about the giant robot lizard thing. So I'm excited for it. Like I marked out when I saw Mechagodzilla in it, and it looks cool. I'm excited for it. They also announced that they're doing a Kong Skull Island Netflix series, which I'm semi-excited for. Or was it on HBO Max? It was one of the two. Along with Pacific Rim. They're doing a Pacific Rim anime, too. So there's a lot of... it's a good time to be a kaiju fan, so... Which Mitch isn't, so he's obviously not having a good time.
I don't hate it.
Though. Are you saying that if I invited you to go see Godzilla vs. Kong, you wouldn't go?
Pandemic, so no.
That's also fair. But I have legitimately thought about doing the because AMC offers you to rent out a room, like for you and like 6 people or something like that, and they completely sanitize everything and like, you know, you just have a whole theater to yourself. Like, I really want to do that, but that's like $150.
That's ridiculous.
It's for brand new movies. I think it's a lot cheaper for like older ones, because you could be like, I feel like watching The Dark Knight in theaters today. I don't know why, but if I found enough like Godzilla enthusiasts to do that, I definitely would, because I'm a nerd.
I have Zoom.
So.
Nothing. I said something that I didn't need to say out loud. I was talking to myself. I'm doing something in the background to try and confirm some.
Okay. What's up?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Does it have to do with this podcast?
I was going to make an announcement. Yes, but I can still talk about it, but I was hoping I was going to be able to do something. but I guess not.
You're scaring me, Mitchell.
I was waiting for you to finish your news, but you have like a mile-long list of it.
No, that actually was the last one. I'm finished.
Oh, okay. Well, video game news. This was not related to me scaring Ethan. So, for the people that don't know, Resi 8 released a PS5 demo, and there was a super sexy tall vampire lady. Well, Capcom officially announced how tall she is. She's 9'6".
Jesus.
She a tall lady.
Step on me, mommy.
Yeah, no, my favorite thing was I was watching Outside Xbox play it, or it was Outside Xbox, I'm pretty sure. Which is funny because they're an Xbox channel and they were playing a PS5 demo, but whatever. Unless they were playing it on Outside Extra, which they could have been, I guess. They're a British YouTube channel. I think they're pretty damn popular, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know about Xbox.
I absolutely adore them, but my favorite thing was Jane was like, please make me one of you. And then when she got picked up by a tall lady, she's like, oh my God, yes, please step on me. And I was like, everyone else is like, Jane. It was great.
Big titty goth GF.
Big titty tall goth GF.
Mommy milkers.
Okay.
That makes me very uncomfortable. I hate that. I hate that phrasing so much.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to say it.
Because I'm me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, well, I guess I think you were... Are you about to say what happened to the other character that people were freaking out about?
Oh, well, no, but now I know what you're talking about, so I feel like I have to. Unfortunately, one of the voice actresses for one of the vampire daughters passed away. She was only like 38.
I thought she was barely 30.
She might have been 28, but I'm pretty sure it was 38. 39. Due to colon cancer.
Yeah.
Once again, cancer's a bitch.
It is.
And fuck cancer. All right, so I'm going to give
I don't like how cancer's been talked about like 2 episodes in a row now.
Yeah. Anyways, to lighten the mood, I am very proud of my friend Kelly Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, she hosts the Tapestry Music Podcast, and she is more knowledgeable in metal than I am, specifically progressive metal, but metal in general. It's always my goal to try and find a band that she doesn't know, and
have you succeeded?
That's hard. I have. Somehow she didn't hear about Borknagar for some reason.
I only know them because you've mentioned them.
Yeah. But she knew Winter Horde. Like before even she's like, oh yeah, I love Winter Horde. They're the one with that weird ghost ship thing. I was like, shit. She knows my favorite Israeli band. Shut the fuck up.
My brother-in-law knew about them too.
Yeah, I guess they're a bit more popular than I think, but not popular enough in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I still need to listen to Maestro.
Maestro's so good. And it's not piratey. So you can only make the Hailstorm.
I'm kidding. I support bands.
Please support the artists. And me and her met over Sluggage on progressive metal group that I used to be a part of called Prog Snob.
Is this the same person that we have discussed about maybe collaborating with?
Yes, it is. So why I am proud of her is MIT invited her to be a guest speaker for their Heavy Metal 101 course.
Yeah. I remember there was a ton of the courses on there.
And so she did MIT Heavy Metal 101 progressive metal discussion.
Nice.
And
did you watch her? Did you watch it?
No, I feel so bad. Like I was stressed out and like getting ready for work and shit, but like I totally had the time to go and listen to her while I was getting ready and everything. And so what I was frantically trying to do was I thought they recorded these things.
I thought they did too.
But I can't find anywhere where to find hers.
If you send me the link to the event page, I might be able to find it, because there are some musicians that I met up north in the band called The Beast of Nod. I believe they are
Yeah, I do know them. Wow.
Oh, you know them. Okay. For some reason, I thought they were a lot lesser known than they are, but they just announced that they're doing an album and it has Satch on it. Like, as in Joe Satriani, if people don't know.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I guess they're a lot more popular than I thought, or maybe they weren't as popular when we first played with them, and I just, haven't kept up. But I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook, including Paul Buckley, which is the vocalist, and he actually
I'm also friends with Paul Buckley.
Yeah, he did a course as well for that MIT Heavy Metal 101 thing. He did a whole course about vocals, and
nice.
I wanted to watch that too, but I missed the live show, and they did record it. I just haven't had a chance to go and check it out yet.
Yeah, I really want to watch it because, one, I want to support my friends. Two, Kelly is like one of my best music friends, and she lives in, actually, I'm not going to say where she lives. People don't need to know that. But she does not live in Indiana. But I have met her before in person, and we shared some Chicago deep dish. So yeah, I want to support my friend, but also, why wouldn't I want to watch a college level metal course?
Oh yeah, I really wish that IUPUI rather would have gone forward with that, because there were talks about doing it, but I think the professor ended up leaving.
Yeah, and before he left, they said no.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure that he's left at this point.
I vaguely remember that may have been one of the very first times we met. Like, I think
in person, yes. It was the first time we met. You were wearing your trilby.
Yes, I used to wear fedoras and stuff.
Oh, it was straight up fedora, huh? It wasn't even a trilby?
Oh, I don't know. I have them sitting on my old Xbox 360 box at the moment. I stopped wearing them,
stop eating plastic, you piece of shit.
What?
Sabbath. Sabbath's eating a plastic bag.
Ah, fair enough. Yes, and I vaguely remember me bringing up Core, and you got mad.
We both got mad.
All right. Did you have anything else to say about the MIT course? Congratulations to her, by the way. That's really cool. I did take a look on the event page, and I didn't see a link yet, but my phone's also having a hard time loading at the moment.
Yeah, I yelled at her, and if I get any information, I'll just send it to you so you can, post it, make an announcement. I could post it to our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. I can do that.
So,
all right.
Other than that, I'm holding my cat because he is now in baby jail.
All right.
So you might hear some cat screams.
That's completely fine. Screams of all types are welcome here on the Distorted Entertainment Podcast. I believe I am starting this week. So,
yes.
Okay. Sorry if I'm seeming very, very random at the moment. All right, let's get into the actual meat of things here. Last week, Mitchell gave me a band that I only have heard of in passing, I think, even before he brought it to my attention, because he has kind of been very vocal about this band recently. We're back to saying last episode, I'm sorry. Band called Ulcerate. They're a technical death metal band out of New Zealand. I believe it is Auckland, New Zealand. Probably shouldn't even try to do that. They've been a band since about 2000, but they used to be known as Blood Wreath from 2000 to 2002. And it's interesting because I did a lot of research on this band as I was listening to them. And apparently they're a lot more important than one would realize in the tech death world, or at least that's the kind of phrasing that people on Metallum have thrown around in their reviews, which I find interesting because, again, I've never really heard of them. Where did you said you came across them on Bangers TV?
Yeah, on Banger TV. There's I think she's new, a host by the name of Riley. I want to say her name's Riley. It was her 2020 album of the year pick.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the way she described it was perfect. And she's only done one other review, but she's got to be one of my favorite reviewers so far.
I might have to check out her review. So Mitchell gave me I can't talk. I'm sorry. Their most recent record was released last year. It is called Stare Into Death and Be Still. Metallum labels them as a technical death metal band. At least for this particular record, I listened to a little bit of their earlier material before this, just out of curiosity. I feel like I feel like they should have the word like atmospheric death metal.
100%.
At least for this record. I did go and listen to a little bit of their first one that pops up on Spotify, and it is a lot more straightforward tech death, and I liked it a lot. So for Stare Into Death and Be Still, I'm of two minds about it. I'm going to have... It's been a while since either of us have had to do the whole objective and subjective opinion thing.
Wow.
I think objectively this album's pretty good. It's very interesting. There's not a lot of stuff that I've heard of that sounds like it. It does have some very pretty instrumentation, and I do agree that one song, which was called Dissolved Orders, is the best track on the record. Naturally, it's also the closer. But I have some issues with it. I am very frustrated because I feel like I should like this album more than I do. And I've listened to it about 3.5, 4.5 times. I know that
I also
there's a
agree
half in
that
there.
Yes, like
but listen to my reasoning. I'm not somebody that, is going to talk, maybe not trash, but an album that I feel like I should enjoy. I'm not gonna. I have points.
Okay, now hold on. Mic adjustment.
Okay, it's all good.
I just didn't want a bunch of popping during your
yeah, fair enough.
Talking.
So, as I said, I think objectively this album is pretty good. I feel like a lot of the reasons why it doesn't stick well with me is the mix. I actually do not like the production on this record very much, and I have reasons. The very first one that came to mind as I was listening to the album was I feel like whoever was mixing it or whoever was in charge of production didn't have an idea of what they wanted to have, what they wanted to be the focus in each song. So when you're mixing something, you really have to decide, do I want the drums to, and it doesn't have to be for an entire track. It can be, section by section. I think the drums should pop out a little bit more here, or I feel like you should really be focused in on the bass or the vocals or the guitar. I feel like it's very common in this record that they tried to make everything the exact same focus, which then makes everything seem unfocused. I had a very hard time, trying to pay attention to specific things throughout the entire record. It's not all the time. I feel like when it's just instrumental, I feel like is really where this album shines. The vocals do nothing for me. Not that the dude's bad. I think the dude has a very good tone. But the choice that they made to have so much delay and reverb be audible throughout the entire vocal take, every single line that's on there, as soon as he's done, you hear the delay and reverb behind it. It really just throws me off. I know that it's probably an intentional choice. I don't like it. I think that's where it really starts bugging me. I feel like this is very similar to a problem that I had with Songs of the North, where I cannot name a single part of this album. It's not exactly like they have choruses, much like Lost and Catatonic or something like that. But it's not really meant for that either. So it's weird that I don't know. I feel really weird about this album, and I don't hate it. I feel like in terms of as much as you gushed about it, I feel like it may have hurt it for my listening at this when I went in. I feel like the album starts out very blandly for me. It does get better as it goes. Like I said, the Dissolved Orders is pretty good, and upon my second listen, I know I liked the title track a lot more than I did on my first couple. I'm just really frustrated because I feel like I should like this album way more than I do. But I just don't. I feel very, very passé about the entire album. It's at the exact same level as Letters for the Colony for me. Little bit better. It's not quite that boring because I do like the instrumentals. I think they're very, very pretty. But as a vocalist, if the vocals really start throwing me off, it can really hurt an album. And I do not care for the vocals in this record at all. And I think for that, my own personal rating for this record, I'm probably giving it like a 6.5, 7 tops. And if I'm just going by like the normal quality of somebody who maybe can look past those issues, I could see somebody liking it enough to give it like a 9. It's just not really my style. And I feel like if it was mixed differently, I feel like I would have liked this album a little bit more, but it just feels very jumbled and unfocused in my opinion.
So I'm not saying I'm hurt.
And I didn't want to. I actually thought of that like the other day. I'm like, man, I feel bad because Mitch really, really likes this album, and I'm trying not to like crap on it because I don't think it's
crap
bad.
on it. Crap
No,
on it if you want.
I don't.
I
think
mean, I do it to dying fetus
bad.
on a regular occasion.
Yeah, but like, I don't think this is bad. I just don't think it just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm wondering if maybe you just don't like atmospheric because like, but then again, you like Dagalok. I'm pretty sure you like Abigail Williams.
To an extent, yeah. I haven't really given enough time to Abigail Williams. I like the few Agalok songs that I've listened to, but I reckon, but Agalok I consider to be like a doom band. And I mean, it's not that fair. It's not that I dislike atmosphere. Like I said, I think the moments in this record where that really shine are like the atmospheric elements, like the beginning of Dissolved Orders. A lot of the times where there just are no vocals and everything has time to shine. I still feel like, again, the mix is a little weird. I don't feel like anything's really focused, except for the drums. I feel like the drums are mixed very, very well. But everything else, it's like I have a hard time. It's like, oh man, I'm trying to listen to what the guitars are doing, but the vocals are like on the exact same level, so it's hard for me to like focus on that. But there's the ride that's playing on the drum kit. I feel like it's the mix. I feel like the mix just, there's something with it that I can put a finger on, but not like enough that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and you know what? That's totally fair.
I don't hate it. It's just I just don't think that this particular, and that's the thing. I went back and listened to some of their earlier material, and I liked it more. Like their very first record that was on Spotify, it was much more of like a tech death experience. It wasn't like atmospheric or anything, but I liked it.
Right.
And I don't necessarily. I'm sorry. Do you have any points before I keep going, or do you want me to? Like,
just keep going.
Okay.
I want to try something this episode, but keep going.
Okay. And I don't think I'm the only person that feels this way. On Metallum, this is their second worst rated record, but even then, it's a 78. Like, it's not that bad. Their lowest record is a 70. But like, there are people in the reviews that are like, this just. There's one guy's like, yep, this is an Ulcerate album, as if maybe their last couple were like this, or something like that. There are some, and of course there are some people as well, they're like, this is really, really awesome, things like that. But I'm not the only one that feels like it has the issues that I talked about. Now I think the guy on here that agrees with me is a little harsh at a 10%. I don't think the record is bad at all, A, or B, definitely not that bad. I like I said, I feel bad because I want to like this more than I do, but I just can't. Like, I didn't get through another listen. I did 3 or 4, and I went to go listen to it again today throughout work, and I didn't make it past the title track.
And, that's totally fair. There's, metal out there that I know is good, but I, don't want to listen to. I don't listen to a lot of classic metal and heavy metal. And it's not because I'm like, oh, this is bad, but it's like, I just don't care for the sound. Like, I'm not a big British new wave person.
Right.
I think Iron Maiden is a great band, but I just don't have the desire to go past more than like 2 songs. It doesn't pull me in enough to do something like that. And, the same can be said for a lot of music out there in metal, where I'm like, I know this is good. I understand that this is good. I don't care for the sound itself. And that can be said about a lot of genres of music. I have an idea of what good country sounds like. I don't
You just
like
don't hear
country. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Or good pop.
Mhm.
Even though the term pop is weird because
It just means
doesn't hold
popular.
yeah, but it definitely is a genre now.
Yeah, definitely.
And
But-
stuff like that. Like it, there, and that's why it's important to go objectively. I understand this is good, but hey, this isn't my sound.
Mhm.
And so like I get that. It sucks that you didn't like it because like, whoo boy, did I love it.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I was like, I'm really just trying to hear this in a way that, it's kind of like the first few times I tried listening to Meshuggah. I'm like, nothing's clicking. I don't get why people are liking it. That's not to say that if I go and listen to their other material, maybe it will click and I'll finally just like it. But at the 3 or 4 listens that I did, I'm like, this is just okay to me. I understand why people might like it more, but it's hard for me to focus on, and I feel bad. I was wanting to really try and like it because you've been on a roll. I didn't want to like break your recommendation streak, but it just, I don't know. I don't know about it. It's something. It was just weird.
Yeah, and that's totally you. I do agree with your Letters of the Colony, but clearly I do not agree with this one.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also like, I'm not saying it's bad either.
You're not saying it's garbage.
This album's bad. I don't think I could say that. It's kind of mixed weird and not in a way that I enjoy.
It's like me and the Dying Fetus thing. Like, yeah, I don't like Dying Fetus, but I don't think they're a bad band.
Yeah, but you actively said it was garbage, and you gave it a 3.
Yeah, well that would well, yeah, for personal taste, I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Objectively, it's like a 6 or a 7 to me.
It's fine. It exists.
Yeah, it exists, and part of that is mostly due to how the album flows, which is I don't think it flows. Right. And I just really do not like those vocals because I can't understand them at all.
But can you understand this guy? Because he is not. That's weird because I didn't pick out any lyrics from this record.
It took me a couple of, listen throughs, but yeah, I can. Not everything, but part of that also is I focus less on the vocals as vocals and more just like the whole soundscape in general.
Right. Yeah. I think being a vocalist myself is a detriment sometimes, where like if I just can't get into a vocalist, it really ruins it. And it's not that this guy's bad. Like I said, I think he's pretty good. He has a good tone. It's just the decisions to have so much reverb on it.
Right.
It really pulled me out. Similar idea to, obviously I was going to more bring this up during like the last segment, but I gave Mastodon another shot today. It's still the vocalist. Like, I was listening to Blood and Thunder.
Which one? There's 3.
Yes, all of them. I don't like any of them.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it depends, because I don't know which ones sing on what songs. I turned on Leviathan, and I listened to, like, the first 2 or 3 tracks. I'm like, I don't like anything about this. Which is weird, because, like, I actually recognized the riff to Blood and Thunder. I was like, yeah, this riff is awesome. The tone is really cool. And then the vocals come in. I'm like, this is bad. And then the next song comes on. I'm like, I don't like this either. I'm just like, I'm really trying, Mitch. I give Mastodon a shot maybe once every couple of months, and I just can't do it.
Mastodon's not for everyone. It's okay to be wrong.
You don't love Mastodon that much, do you?
No, not really. I like
the meme.
Yeah, it's the meme. I enjoy Mike Stop Drifting. I enjoy
that's my favorite nu metal band.
Mike Stop Drifting. I enjoy Oblivion a fuck ton.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy Emperor of Sand a lot. The rest of their work, I'm like, yeah, this is Mastodon. It's good. I thought Once More Around the Sun was way too fucking long and stuff like that. But like, no, I'm not like Opeth Gojira fan for Mastodon. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to try to do, and I think it's important to do this, assuming that we're not, recommending music for the lulz. I'm not going to give you a Psycho Stick record anytime soon.
I like Psycho Stick though.
I don't think anything's wrong with Psycho Stick, but I would definitely do it for the lulz if I was going to do Psycho Stick. I think while having a person's blind review is good, I think the person giving it should at least explain why they like the album and, maybe why they gave it. So I would love to get that.
Don't we kind of do that anyway?
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing.
To an extent, but like I kind of want it more in depth. Like you told me a little bit about why you like the Dying Fetus record, for instance, but it never got into the depth of like exactly why you recommended it or anything like that.
Oh,
besides the fact that you thought I would like it.
Yeah, it also depends. Do you have like lore as to why you're recommending things? Mine's just kind of random unless if I plan ahead.
No, not to an extent. I mean, like 9 times out of 10, I'm like going through my music list as we're talking. Like, okay, what am I going to do? Which one this time?
But, so you do it on the fly during the episode. I at least plan ahead.
It depends. Like, I mean, I had Swallow the Sun down since like first episode.
Fair enough.
And like,
anyway, do your thing.
It's less to an extent of like, I'm doing it on the fly because I don't know what I'm going to recommend you, and more of I don't know what the next best thing is to recommend you. I know the bands I want to recommend. I just don't know, like, should I do this one next? Would this be a good follow-up? Should I just do a complete 180? So like, I did the prog after prog after prog after prog, but then I was like, let's do some Pretty Septic Flesh. And then I went on the violin symphonic train for like a second, and then I Swallow the Sun happened.
Yeah, I guess I have a little bit of a thing like that coming up soon. So,
but yeah. So,
give your thoughts. I mean, you've kind of gushed about it in the past already, so I know that there's a lot of this that you like.
So yeah, to put it in perspective, Ethan's listened to this album like 3 or 4 times. Since I bought the album and got it, I have listened to it for, I think, on repeat for the past 2 to 3 weeks.
I'm glad that you like it that much, truly.
And there's some about atmospheric stuff that I really like, and that can be seen with like how much I gush about Abigail Williams and their atmospheric stuff. Granted, I did love In the Shadow of a Thousand Suns quite a bit, which was symphonic, and Deaf Heaven I really like, and Agaloch, which has some atmospheric to it.
Right.
Merker has some really good atmosphere to her. Like, I mean, how much do I gush about Bell Witch?
Right.
Pretty much every episode. I personally really like that sound. It creates a very void, like empty, melancholic feel that it really clicks with me. I enjoy that so much, and I felt I definitely see where you're coming from with the mix. It didn't bother me personally, but there were definitely points where I'm like, is there a second guitar? And if there is a second guitar, what the hell is it doing? Is that the bass? There were definitely points of confusion, right. I will say. I never like had problems picking out between like the drums, vocals, and one guitar doing something all at once. Like, I could easily go between. I didn't feel like one was too overpowering. However, I could see that, especially how active that drummer is. Because, like, Jesus, I did
like the drums a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a really good drummer, and damn, he used that whole kit.
Mm-hmm. I really like I'm a snob for Ride, like the Ride bell. And I thought that the tone that they got for the ride bell is so good in that record.
Right.
Yeah, the drummer was a standout for me.
So he and for me as well. And like, the way that they were able to invoke so much emotion with how the guitar is written, I just absolutely adored it, because you're not getting really much emotion from the growls, especially since for the most part he stays at the same timbre the entire time. Like, he's just deep, low,
monotone
kind of the entire time, which allows for the instrumentation to be the expression. And so like, I really liked Visceral End, because that like atmospheric beginning where it just the guitar shoots up into that really high pitch, it almost sounds like a cry. And I just the way that this album is written and how everything works so well together, even if it kind of drowns each other out sometimes, I just found to be a really beautifully emotional experience. And I think that's why I loved it so much, was it hit that tunage of emotion that like Swallow the Sun does for me, and Bell Witch and Abigail Williams, where it feels like just sitting in like a pit of despair and like crying and feeling empty. I don't know. I really like that kind of sound.
Right. When it comes to that kind of sound, though, I feel like I really connected a lot more with Swallow the Sun's take on it.
Oh, for sure.
But also, it is a bit more straightforward, even with like despair. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like, I understand where you're coming from, but it just for some reason it didn't click for me.
And I'm not trying to make it click for you. I'm just like, this is why I was gushing over it. This is how it felt to me. And like, I always want to hear, because I feel like for the most part, I don't hear why you like the record as much, like in as much detail as I'm giving it. That's not always true.
Yeah.
Cattle Decapitation, you gave that gushing. You love cattle. And the same for Aesop Rock.
Yeah. For me, I think it is a little bit more difficult for me to put into words why I like something sometimes, unless if it is like those examples where I'm just like, this is so good and I can gush about it like Cattle or Aesop. But like, if I was trying to really explain to you why I liked Dying Fetus, I don't think there's with that record, it's not really that I have a deep-seated love for it. I'm just like, I think it sounds cool. Like, I got to see them live and play with them too, so that also helps. But this record was just kind of cool to me.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's like a deep love for that record versus like the Anthropocene Extinction or something. But I also find that Cattle is a much more deep band than Dying Fetus. Whereas I like the riffage, and I think that John Gallagher's voice is cool. Something like Cattle has like a broad scope to it, and it's not just punishment for the sake of punishment.
Right.
So like, it's kind of difficult for me to do it sometimes. I'm just bad at words sometimes. So,
I mean, fair.
Haha, growls go gur.
Brie.
Oh yeah, so this porno grind I'm going to give you today. No, I'm kidding.
I please no.
I can't even name a porno grind band.
I can, but I can't remember its name. But it's the one that
I can name it, but I can't.
It's a person's name. I wish I could remember. It's the
Daphne,
one that
Jessica, William.
Shut up. It's the one that oh God,
Mitch, we're going too deep on this.
This is pissing me off. Black metal band.
I'm so sorry.
French black metal band.
Igor.
They were good until we found out that they were not good people.
Oh,
or at least the singer. Deathspell Omega. Yeah, the singer has a really creepy porno grind.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That like basically sounds kind of like
hold on, now I have to look it up.
Yeah, it's very controversial because also like little kids and everything.
Yeah. Is it Miko Aspa is the guy's name?
Yeah, that's the guy's name.
Is it Clandestine Blaze? Cream Face?
No.
DOM? Flesh Press? Stabat Mater? Yeah, no, that's a Funeral Doom band. I don't like how the lyrical themes are pain, rape, misery, and death. I don't think I need that second one.
I don't think
Morbid Savoring. No, that's a Sludge and Doom band. It's a black metal band. I don't know why I'm looking at this though. Oh yeah, no, it's Cream Face. That's what it's
Cream
called.
Face.
Grindcore, lyrical themes, pornography, sexual perversions. There is one review on a split they did in 2005, and it has a 67%. I don't like that. I'm gonna just leave now.
Let me make sure it's Cream Face. No, it's Nicole 12. It's I'm sorry, I said Porno Grind. It's a noise project.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a band page on Metallum.
Yeah.
I would imagine Cream Face isn't much better.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't like any of these titles, dude.
Yeah.
Except for pay no more than 10 cents. That's actually kind of funny.
But oh yeah. Anyways,
let's get away from Deathspell. I'm just sad now. Let's continue.
Oh, good. Now you should listen. Now you're in the mood.
I think I get it. I think I'll get it now. Stare into death and be still. I can't sleep.
But yeah, I mean, there's not a track that I didn't love on that album, and but for me, what stood out was Stare into Death and Be Still, Visceral Ends, and of course, Dissolved Orders. Which just that intro to Dissolved Orders is.
It's good. Yeah.
Spicy meatball. I also just really like the title Stare into Death and Be Still.
Yeah, it's a good title. I'll give it that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry that you are wrong in your opinions. And no, I'm sorry you didn't like it as much as
me
clearly
too.
I did.
Yeah, me too. I tried. I gave it a number of shots, and I don't know why it didn't click, but I don't know.
Hopefully you like the next one, because if you don't like the next one, then
quit doing this, because you're like, oh man, I have to like it now because it's supposed to be really good. And then it's
if you don't like this next one, I think I'll just quit. So
no, you won't. Well, that being said, I for this next record, that I gave you, I expect you to either, it's a very either or thing. I don't think you're going to fall into the middle. Mitchell, what did I give you this week?
Well, I'm just going to preface this since you didn't like
shut up
my record. I'm just going to shit all over yours.
See, that was part of the thing, though. I was like, if I don't like this record, is he just going to be mad and talk trash?
Wow, I am not fucking petty. I'm not petty.
I don't know.
At all.
I've never seen you mad enough to be petty.
I refuse to be petty. It's disgusting, and I fucking hate petty people.
You would have hated me in 2019 then.
Yeah, I probably would have.
I think really you probably did.
I really hate pettiness a lot.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that either. Anyway,
that being said, this isn't the petty podcast.
Yeah, that's next week.
Oh no, I already hate next week. You gave me Black Tongue's Nadir or Nadir.
I believe it's Nadir.
It's definitely Nadir. But yeah. I like the idea that it's Nadir because then it sounds like Mater, and then I can just make a Cars reference.
Mater? Without
no, I'm just gonna make Cars references from now on. This album was as fast as Lightning McQueen.
It wasn't. It is not fast.
So Black Tongue's Nadir. For people that don't know, like me, Black Tongue is a deathcore band. And they have they're deathcore.
The way I described them to Gage today was like atmospheric doomcore, blackened. At least for this record, their other stuff does not sound like this at all.
And man, how did I feel about it? I mean, you did shit on Ulcerate. Like,
shut up and do the review.
no, I enjoyed most of it. It was
Okay.
good. They did things that I didn't like, but they're like the stereotypical deathcore things, which I don't like. They surprisingly didn't have any breakdowns as far as I can remember.
Really?
Not what I would, at least not what I would traditionally call a breakdown.
I'll let you continue. I was about to
no,
say,
no,
like,
give me
there's
the
obvious
example.
one. Second death. The I want you all to suffer. Boom, boom, boom. It's my favorite breakdown ever. Like, I loved the build up and the drop in that song. Do you want a timestamp?
Yeah, because second death 9:10. Oh yeah.
Oh, did you find
Okay.
it?
Yeah, I don't know why I said there's no breakdowns. Which is funny because I've listened to this album like 3 or 4 times, and I don't know.
Man, that slipped past you.
I think I registered the first time, and I'm not a big fan of breakdowns, especially like the traditional deathcore one. So
Yeah.
I probably just immediately blocked it out. That said, it's not a bad one.
I do love that. That's actually one of my favorite breakdowns ever. I don't know why.
I do
it's
enjoy.
Different.
I will say, in terms of breakdowns, I did like the Alex Terrible one that you showed me.
Oh yeah. Slaughtered for Veil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Alex. I believe the vocalist for this name. I keep interrupting. I'm sorry. I like Alex as a vocalist a lot too in this project.
Yeah. Would you like to give the review on this?
I don't know yet.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting.
No, you won't. One of the things I didn't like is they, at least in the first track, I don't remember it being in other tracks, but they did that whole like pep talky thing with the raspy, clean vocals. I just, it happens in deathcore a lot. I think it happens more than like stereotypical deathcore more often, and it's usually more reserved for a live show, but people still do it for albums in general. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Black Fawn Temple? It's like him speaking in this like give me an example real quick, because I may be thinking of a different part. Because the one that I'm thinking of, it sounds like he's like a demon god in like a sewer somewhere, like ranting about his hatred towards the earth, and I think it sounds cool. I don't know if this album has a story, but I feel like it does.
Am I just wrong? Like, am I remembering things in all the wrong places?
Am I thinking of an All Shall Perish album?
I know I heard it in the first song.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's like he's not screaming, but it's like he's building up to a scream as he speaks.
Yes, there you are. It's not as bad as I remember. What the hell? I was literally listening to this while we were doing this podcast.
I feel like you're very conflicted about this album.
This is so weird because I remember it as one way and now I'm hearing it again and I'm like, yeah, at like 250. I don't like those talking segments very often. Rarely do I do.
Does that extend into Black Fawn Temple?
I don't know. Let me find out.
That's the one that's where it's mostly him speaking as like a narrator.
No, that's a bit different.
Okay. Just curious.
I don't always like those as well, but those ones typically sit more or sit well with me more. But when it's like the Jared Dines does a really good impression of it.
This review of the album has some very interesting for fans of sections.
How so?
Dark Throne, Celtic Frost, and then the other two kind of make sense. Traitors and Primitive Man. I guess Dark Throne and Celtic Frost because there are some blackened elements in it.
Yeah, and I was going to get to that. Like, I was really surprised. There were some like black metal elements on here, and boy, did I love them. Yeah,
I mean, this was not like... That's why I was kind of struggling on how to describe the album to you. I was like, it's a deathcore band, but it's not just deathcore.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the album. I love the chuggy heaviness, doomy almost feelings to it. The vocals are great. I
love
really
Alex.
love
He's a great vocalist.
I really, really love the clean vocal section that was just kind of like a palate cleanser.
Yeah. And a dying god coming into human flesh.
Yeah. My big complaint, besides like some of the stereotypical deathcore things happening here and there that I just don't like. I felt a lot of the lyrics were really repetitive.
I could see that
in certain songs, especially like the one you just mentioned.
A dying god coming on to... Okay, yeah. I listened to this album fully only a couple of times. I usually listen to like the front half because I feel like that has the best songs in it. So I don't have a lot of memories of A Dying God or Crippled Before the Dwelling Place of God. Ultima Necat, Second Death, Contrapasso. But I feel you. There, from what I remember, there are some segments that have a bit more lyrical repetition,
which, in some way is good. It adds emphasis to what you're trying to do and everything. But sometimes, annoying. It can get really annoying. And even Opeth has done stuff like that. It wasn't vocals, but like sometimes I'll think like a guitar riff is going on way too long.
Yeah.
It's rare, and even when it does, I'm like, well, this wasn't horrible, but Jesus. But yeah, just sometimes it was a bit much. Other than that, like, it's a pretty solid album. The more I listened to it, the more I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. I'd give it a solid like 7, 8 out of 10.
I really expected you to either love or hate it. Like, part of me was like, I think there's a 60% chance he hates this record.
Oh, wow. No. This isn't like the deathcore that I think of when somebody tells me deathcore.
That's why I like called it something different. It's blackened atmospheric doomcore.
But when I think deathcore, I'm thinking like Suicide Silence. Worst case scenarios, things like Attack.
Attack's metalcore, but
whatever.
I would take Suicide Silence over Attack any day.
So I enjoy it. It's good, but like definitely not like something that I'm going to be constantly listening to. But I might pick up the album.
Okay, all right.
I did enjoy it. It doesn't feel chuggy corey like most core stuff I listen to, or not. I listen to, but I typically don't like, and I think that's one thing that helped it. Because I really hate the open zeros. And like, let's put a finger on one for 1 second, like a mirror.
Yeah. I think the guys in Black Tongue like choose chords really, really well too for certain sections. Like, just it almost has its own sound, in my opinion. I think they're able to have a pretty unique sound of their own while still having those elements of deathcore that you can recognize. But I also think their breakdowns are very tasteful. I don't think that there's like I don't think there's anything really terrible about this record.
No, not at all. The things that I didn't like were more preferential just to me, and they weren't, problems with the actual record. The mix is good.
Oh, I think the mix is phenomenal.
The tone is great. The chords they chose and the notes, the genre jumping here and there, great, fantastic. It was good. I was happy to listen to it. It didn't hit me like Death Atlas or Aesop. I mean,
right. Would you listen to their other material?
If it sounded similar to this, yeah.
I believe the Unconquerable Dark I think it's similar. But their earlier stuff is a lot more like, I'm punching you in the face now. Although
I'd still give it a chance, but
if you do check out their earliest stuff, the my favorite song is Faux Hammer. It has my favorite bleh ever. I think Alex is a pretty good vocalist, which also helps me enjoy it a lot more. I'm glad you liked it though. I for some reason was like, more betting you on not enjoying it than you to enjoy it. But I think it's similar. It's kind of like adjacent to some of the doomier things, in my opinion, while still having that kind of excitement that deathcore can add to certain things when done well.
But tell me, like, give me in a bit more detail. Why did you like this record? Like,
I mean, I feel
you can add to what you said.
I feel like I feel like your description of the Ulcerate record kind of applies here. I really love the atmosphere that this album brings. It sort of has that bleak, oppressive type feel to it throughout the entire record, especially in songs like Second Death or Black Fawn Temple. A little bit more with Black Fawn Temple because it's meant to be kind of like a texture, you know, like kind of like how I described it earlier. There's the rain and the water dripping around, and it sounds like this angry god or this angry being that is bigger than something that you can really even imagine, just angry and wanting to lash out. And I feel like this, like I mentioned earlier, I think this record has some sort of narrative going on to it, but I've never actually like sat down and read through all of the lyrics. Anger is another thing that I kind of draw from this album. Second Death was the first song I believe I heard from Black Tongue that really made them click for me. Because for a while, I put Black Tongue sort of in the same vein as Traitors. Now, I like Traitors, but Traitors' earlier stuff is just very, very chuggy, zeros for days. And the kind of the blackened atmosphere kind of hooked me into it. I kind of equate it to when I first heard Manufactured Extinct, where it finally clicked. I was like, oh, that's why people like this band or things like that. Because like I said, I've heard of Black Tongue. I love the atmosphere of the record. I think the writing is just really, really unique, like I kind of mentioned before. I have no idea if I'm actually adding anything. I think I'm actually just repeating myself a lot. But
no, you're good. Just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the reason it kind of feeds a lot of my even different eras of my music enjoyment. You have the deathcore there, which kind of feeds into my early man. I like Whitechapel and Impending Doom, but you have the more blackened atmospheric type stuff, which kind of extends into bands like Abigail Williams or Horde or some of the other, like when I kind of delved into black metal here and there. And it just kind of feeds multiple parts of my brain. Because like I said, I don't necessarily consider, at least this album, the band maybe, but this album, I don't necessarily consider it a deathcore record. I find it more along the lines of like blackened atmospheric deathcore, if anything. And I think it just really kind of hits the serotonin dispensers in my brain. I'm like, this just sounds awesome. It's crushing. I can listen to this when I'm angry. I can listen to this when I want to have like kind of a perspective, like a different, like a thinking perspective. Like I've listened to this record like in Meyer before while shopping, and I'm just like, I really like the textures they have during this one song, and the vocals really pop out, and I love this major chord. I don't think there's one major chord in this album, but there's a really good major chord in this one song. And so it just kind of, I like it. Band go chug.
Band do go chug.
And like I said, I even the deathcore elements weren't very like egregious. I thought everything was very, very tasteful throughout the album. And I'm really glad that you liked it. I have no idea if I added anything. It's almost midnight.
So it is. It's almost noon for me.
Boo. I have no idea if that helped or like even.
No, it did. I thought you really added to that actually.
Like if I'm in a bad mood, Second Death just hits different. Like that the I want you all to suffer like I have suffered, and then the breakdown. Like, it's just so heavy. And I think lyrically, I think the record does really, really well at conveying emotion, which helps because Tenyon's a really good vocalist. I'm also a snob, so, like, if a vocalist is really, really good, it helps a lot.
Well,
did you have anything else to add about Nadir?
No, I did not. I just can't, but at the same time, I can't find the thing that I was looking for, so that sucks.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just the hype speech that happens during core stuff, and I don't like that. I think it sounds really dumb.
I want you all to feel alive tonight.
Yeah, that kind of bullshit. And especially when it's done in an actual record, you sound silly. It works sometimes, but yeah, no, I'm happy with the record. And yeah, I think we can move on.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I honestly don't have much else to talk about. I listened to like some more power metal today. Oh, I checked out Blind Guardian.
And
it was okay. At least the songs I looked at. I might need to have to actually look at a specific record, but I listened to like Mirror Mirror and the Bard's song. I wasn't really into that one. I liked Mirror Mirror though. I thought it was decent.
I think a lot of people, if they were going to recommend one, would probably be, what is it, like Night in Middle Earth or something like that. The straight up, we're going to sing about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but then I listened to a lot of Sabaton today. So I've been on a little bit of a power metal kick, but otherwise I don't have anything to talk about. I'm kind of, if you're good to go, I'm good to move on. Wow. It's up to you. It's up to you. Do you have anything to talk about?
No, not really. Nothing that we didn't cover during the intro.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess I finished Hitman 3's story. It was good. I had no idea what was going on in it, but the last level had you killing like hundreds of people on a train, so that was cool.
Oh, that's the very last level, huh?
Yeah. But story, I don't really play Hitman for the story. I play Hitman because bald man kill.
Bald man do kill, and he do it stealthily unless you tell him not to.
Russian stealth. If you take out an entire map, nobody can tell you what happened. There was that. It's interesting because it's a guy I've watched before, and I didn't realize it was him until he put up a video. There's a YouTube channel called RT Game, which my friend thought was Rooster Teeth, but it's not. He dragged the entire Sapienza levels NPCs into one storage freezer and tried to kill them all with one explosion. It took 7 hours, and it didn't work. They formed a meat shield, so he didn't kill everybody.
I'm sure he was happy about that.
It was a very funny video. I highly recommend it. All right, guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and give each other our next records. So
yeah,
Mitchell, what do you have for me next episode?
So I am going to give you another one of my favorites because why not? You already love all the other ones, including. So I discovered this band randomly. They're like symphonic black and death metal, I guess. Yeah, I guess that covers everything. A little bit of atmosphere here and there. I'm going to give you Soulfallen, one word, Grave New World.
Oh, are they not a band anymore?
No, they're still a band.
Gotcha. Because that's their most recent record on Spotify. But yeah, so I'll take a look at that.
It shouldn't be. The Promise of Hell should be their most recent record.
Then I suppose they have not put it on Spotify.
Rough. Well, I'm glad I didn't give you that one.
Yeah, because then I would have actually had to like try.
However, they have. It's been a while since they made any announcement of new music. They are apparently still working on it, though. But God, when
same
was
with Native Construct and Necrophagist.
No, okay. To be fair, both of those bands are on an official hiatus.
Actually, I think Necrophagist is officially split up. I should probably give you them at some point, but then again, I would actually have to listen to their records too.
So like January 4th, they announced that they're having the first show of 2021. So they're still doing things. Yeah, they talked about they were working on the album. Like they have a drum recording back in July 13th of 2019. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a little I don't know. So yeah, all right. Soulfallen, Grave New World. I shall check that out. For you, I hinted on the last episode that Black Tongue and this band were closely related. Did you do any research to maybe try and find that out, or did you just wait?
Yeah, I waited. I didn't want any spoilers. And
that's completely fine. I gave you the option.
Not because I'm lazy or anything like that.
So this band actually is the same band as Black Tongue, except with a different vocalist. Same drummer, same guitarist, bass player. This band is highly controversial due to their lyrics, which I'm not a fan of their lyrics, and it's a lot worse than their first album when they had a different singer than they do now. Dan Watson versus Dickie Allen. You might have heard of at least one of those guys. But this band, the album I'm giving you is actually made it so that this band was able to be added onto the Metallum archives. They refused to have them up until this album, which means this is their most, quote, what they consider metal album, because they really don't like deathcore. So this turned into like tech death, even though all their music is very techy. Have you ever listened to a band called Infant Annihilator?
No.
Cool. So this is a band that I wasn't really into for a long time because I watched a music video from their very first record, which was, I believe, Decapitation Fornication.
Hot.
Yeah, the music video is bad, and the song wasn't great either. But then they kicked out that vocalist and got Dickie Allen, and Dickie Allen is like if Travis Ryan was on steroids, even though I still prefer Travis Ryan. I'm giving you their album, The Battle of Yaldabaoth.
Oh, that's a name.
Yeah, it's also funny because you can turn all of their album names into an anagram word called Plop Egg Boy.
Beautiful.
Things that I would recommend not doing, watching their music videos, and that's about it.
Gross or just bad or both? Very
weird. The band is like partially a joke and partially not. So in the Battle of Yaldabaoth, I believe they have a music video where it's the members of the band, like as naked as you can possibly get away with on YouTube, which pushes it, breaking eggs on each other a lot. And it makes me very uncomfortable. And I believe it's for this. I believe it's for the music video for the song "Swine Ecologist," and it's weird. But otherwise, don't pay attention to the music videos unless you just really want to look at it for. It's not like forced gender reassignment. It's just weird.
Gotcha.
But this record was interesting because Gage finally got me into listening to them because I was talking about how I liked Black Tongue. He's like, you know that Black Tongue and Infant Annihilator are literally the same people except for the vocalist, right? I was like, I did not know that. And actually, Alex from Black Tongue has a guest spot in this record too. So it's kind of cool, as does Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail. And I think Trevor Sternad as well. Yeah, Trevor Sternad, Alex Terrible, Alex Tayan, and I don't know who Stormtrope is. Oh, he's the guy from last 10 Seconds of Life, or he was from them. So I actually know that band. So yeah, I'm going to give you Infant Annihilator's The Battle of Yaldabaoth. So obviously, like, I did mention this band is kind of infamous for their lyrics because their first record was literally just about like all of the lyrics were let's see how edgy we can be, involving like kind of the same thing that Death Spell Omega dude had for that one band. Except now even though it still has a lot of like sexual assaults in the lyrics and stuff like that, it's actually like written well, but it still makes me uncomfortable. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to pay attention to the lyrics. I don't, because I can't really understand.
You're not selling me on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that here's the way I thought it. Like, I thought if you hated Black Tongue, you will love you would like Infant Annihilator more because of the musicality and technicality of it. Because it's literally a 180. It's stupid. It's just I don't like the lyrics, and I would not expect you to like it either. But the vocal performance, like Dickie Allen's a monster. So
gotcha.
It's really cool. I re-listened to the whole thing today. That being said, I'm going to wrap this up so I can actually go to bed. So next episode, we'll be talking about a Soulfallen album and an Infant Annihilator record. As for the music we're leaving off today, we are going to be we're going to be playing Indiana/Massachusetts two-piece slamming deathcore band called Malcontent. We will be playing their song. Let me pull it up. They're playing their song Embodiment. It was a single they released a little while back. And they're really good. I highly suggest checking them out. And we'll be playing them As for everything else, I'm starting to put all of our socials and stuff in our actual episode descriptions, so we don't have to worry about accidentally missing one. But you can always follow the podcast page on facebook.com/distentpod. That's DISTENTPOD. I'm foregoing putting the episodes up on YouTube for now, just because I missed a few and they didn't really get that many views on there anyway. It's mostly on the audio platforms, of course. So I'll have all of our social media stuff in the description below, so we don't have to run out of breath doing everything else. Thank you guys for tuning in to Distorted Entertainment Podcast. My name is Ethan Carpenter, and I am, of course, joined by Mitchell Wade. And I'll see you guys. Well, we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
How many lives have I ended? How many bodies have I taken into me? How long will I suffer here? A prisoner within my tainted flesh. Will I ever be free? Or shall I suffer endlessly, bending to the will of the entity manifesting within? Have I been doomed to watch this atrocity I once desired, that I've now become? Amidst the chaos, he speaks to me.